Hello everybody and welcome back to another Jake's RC Stuff video, and today, because there's just basically a lot of shit going on at home, I've decided to do one of these videos that I've been saying will happen for a long time, and it's finally going to happen, and it is my go-to parts series. So the whole idea behind this series is you see a new FPV plane, or any plane really that you want, and say for example you see a micro sky hunter or a nano sky hunter, and you decide you're gonna get one of them, and obviously you're just gonna get a box of foam, and there are some go-to items that you know you're gonna have to buy, or probably already got on the shelf because you're using that often, that you're going to put into this plane. So you've got the receiver you're going to use, the battery you're going to use. Servos might be different on a micro sky hunter, but again, servos, speed controllers, cameras, transmitters, antennas, things like that. So the whole idea of this series is, depending, and there will be some different circumstances where you will go and purchase something slightly different. Hence the fact today we're doing cameras, FPV cameras, and I actually have 3 different cameras to show you, and they're all for slightly different reasons. All relatively inexpensive, especially this one, this sort of no-name camera on the old Banggood. So the whole idea behind this camera, or the reason why I buy this camera, is on planes where either it's probably going to get damaged, or where they're going to get fitted into foam. Because if I got a picture of this, so as you can see, if you look at the stand, you can see my mouse. It does have like a normal sort of old style mount. It doesn't have one of the mounts where it has a second screw, for example this one, where you can lock in the angle, and that has caused problems. I was flying once my nano or micro sky hunter, and the camera got stuck fully down, so I was just staring at the canopy, and like the top quarter was sky. I still managed to land it. I think I even landed it still at FPV. If not, I mean, at least got it somewhere I could see it and then landed it afterwards. That's a big problem with using this bracket, especially if you're going for distance. It's going to be a problem. But if you're wanting something that you don't care if it gets smashed up, or it's going to be mounted into foam anyway, then this is excellent. It's really good quality. It comes with, this is all the crap it comes with. So it comes with a dedicated cable. Some of the other more expensive cameras, for example, the run cams I'm going to show you, don't come with a pre-made cable. They come with like a cable you have to cut up and solder. So it really is plug and play. At least the camera side is. It also comes, each one comes with its own joystick to program settings. If you want to, you can do. The only problem with that is the fact that you have to unplug this servo cable and plug in this, and then like watch it for a TV, because that's like a power jack and an AV plug. Small nightmare. It's like the only thing that I would really complain about on here. As you can see, it's just got the one plug. But yeah, 650 TV line, or 600 TV line. You might think, well, why don't I get the? Because one of these looks almost the same. That's 700 TV line, but like £6, and a 1200 TV line one for like £9. They're often said to be worse. I've not had one. Maybe it'd be a good idea, because considering how cheap they are, to buy some and give them a try and see how they work. I don't know. It will supposedly automatically shift to dark, but I can't remember if I've ever done it with these or not. But I've had a lot of them. Like, both of these I've had multiple cameras of, and that is fine. It does have something about speed controllers here. I use these on quads, but they were never really enough to cause a problem. It will do 5 to 22 volts, so in theory 6S might be fine, but I really wouldn't go above 5. So you can plug it pretty much into any battery, and it just works, which is nice. As a 600 TV line, you can't swap PAL and NTSC, but they are both available. And I first got into these and they were like £12.50, but to be fair, I think the reason why I've never ever seen a £25.40, I don't recommend getting it for £25.40. They usually seem to hover around 17 and then occasionally drop down to this 13 number, and that's when I'll usually buy a couple. I'm not going to buy a couple of these, I'm going to buy a couple of something else, I think, though, that I'll show you in a moment. So yeah, they used to be £12.60, but because of the Brexit pound, which is actually slightly better than it was, it's still not great, but just so that, whoops, people can have a look. Oops. So it's about $16, $17. So really not bad at all. So this is the next one. Now this one is sort of a step up from that sort of black no name one. Again, it's a run cam. And again, to show you, it doesn't come with a pre-made cable. You have to do some choppage and solderage to get it put together. But what's good about this, it does come with the locking stand. So this is good for planes where it's not being mounted into foam, and it's probably not going to get too, the chance of getting broken isn't too big. I mean, I flew my Micro Sky Hunter repeatedly into what was basically a metal shipping container, so that's why I kept putting on the cheap cameras. To be fair, I don't think I ever broke one. To be really honest, I might have scratched a lens on one, but I think the camera still worked, so that's good. I think the only one of those cheap ones I broke was when it went into the ground at like 100 mile an hour on the front of me Sidewinder. So anyway, but yeah, 600 TV line. So as you can sort of tell, this is the name brand version of this, but it costs just under twice as much, which is why I say, actually that's from the UK, from China, is it any cheaper? Okay. From China, £22.22. If I do buy some of these, I'll probably get them from China because I'm not desperate for them. So it can take as long as it wants. You do have a choice of lenses as well. So I believe the bigger the lens, the wider the angle, I believe. No, actually, the smaller the lens, the bigger the angle. So if you were putting this on a mini quad, you'd probably want 2.5 because that's the shorter degree. If you're doing and again that would also go for if you're like flying around trees on a plane as well, just basically anything where you're flying through things, you're going to want that 2.5. But if this is going on a plane that you're going to sort of fly high up, but of course at precisely 399 feet or meters or nano jubblies or whatever they're called, I don't fucking care, then you'd probably want to go for the wider ones so you sort of see more, you don't have to be so hemmed in. But yes, considering I might also be able to use a 15% off voucher on that, I might get a couple of those because they're not bad at all for the slightly nicer models. I had one of these on the front of the My Twin Dream. I'm going to be putting one on because I've got a couple of these actually in a cupboard when they were about 20 quid from Hobby King. And what I will say as well is because some people don't like Banggood, some people don't like Hobby King. I will have links to both if I can find them. I know that cheap one is only Banggood. But for the Runcam ones, I will link Banggood and Hobby King. And of course, feel free to check out your local shops in your local countries to see if they've got a similar deal. And you can buy locally, because that's always good. I'll definitely not complain about that. So yes, this is basically that other camera, but if it's going on something a bit nice and you want the locking stand. To be honest with you, otherwise I would get this, because I barely notice any difference. This, for like half the price, especially when these are at full price, or they're never that £39.69. Never. But when they're like 30 quid, which is what they're usually at, I'd recommend this because it's like 85-90% the picture quality of this, but a lot cheaper. And as I say, if you don't need the stand, or it's going on a model that you're going to throw into a shipping container, or fly into a shipping container at 100 mile an hour, then you might as well go with the cheap one, because when it knackers up, you don't cry. And as I say, the lead's made up, which for if you're getting into this, if you're going to be sticking this on an AXN or a Bixler, or they've stopped selling the Bixler 1.1 again. I'm really upset. I want to actually go and buy one. There's like a test bed, and they've stopped selling them again, which is really annoying. I don't know, maybe they'll bring it back with another shitty sticker redo. But anyway, so like if you're getting into FPV, this camera is brilliant because you might break one. Buy two, keep it in the box, and the leads are already made up, so it's one less bit of soldering you've got to do. And they're decent leads as well. They don't really break off quite as easy. I've actually had Runcam ones break off more than this cheapo no brand one. So yes, this is for nicer planes, and again, when you need them out. Now, the other one that I had a couple of, and then Runcam went a bit mad and started changing things to the point where I'm not sure if I'd actually recommend these or not, but they're for you to look into at your own leisure, I suppose. In fact, actually, it was one of these, I think, that was on the front of the My Twin Dream when it flew into a wall. or just over a wall. So again, you get the same sort of mount. The whole idea behind this is that you get it's slightly higher resolution. It has a higher because I didn't have an Eagle 2 Pro. I think I just had the original Runcam Eagle. So you can have. It's got a bigger lens. That lens is also a lot better at getting rid of water, because if you look at this one, there's kind of like a hole that the water would sink into, whereas this one, because it sticks out, the water sort of runs off of it. Let's just load it up. You can also get a micro version of it as well. So you can see this, all the water would go off a lot easier. You have your special mount. Also, if they're actually coming with these control boards now, that's quite nice. I don't think they used to. But anyway, again, looks like you have to solder up the cable. Why Runcam? Why don't you sell like proper Futaba connections? People, well, not but server connections, and people can cut them off. But this does have the ability. It has a microphone built in, apparently. Okay. But yeah, that does 36 volts. That'll definitely do a 6S battery. What will this one do? That'll do 36 volts as well, so that'll definitely do a 6S battery as well. So that's one thing that they've got over the generic one. But yeah, they're 40 quid. Again, these go on like the most premium of models, so that's why it was on like the My Twin Dream or whatever it was. This is the type of, well, maybe not this, because it's got a bit of a too wider angle lens on, but even though it'd probably be mounted into foam, I'll probably put a Runcam Swift in a mini drac or something like that. But like, for example, the Vortini and the Little Glider, if I wasn't using a combined camera and video transmitter, would have one of these, because a lot of them do. I have a cheap glider that has one on, I think, as well. I'm slightly concerned about the bracket, so it may have got swapped out to one of these Runcam Swifts. The Swift 2s I've definitely used, they're excellent. These ones, I've used an Eagle or an Eagle 2. I've not used this one, but it's the closest thing, and I can only hope that Runcam have made it better. But yeah, the main thing to take away from here is this is my absolute go-to. As in, if I could only ever choose one FPV camera, it would probably be this one, because it means I could have as many FPV planes as I wanted, because they are so cheap. And as I say, it'll go in literally anything. All the models that I've got on the shelf to build, 80% of them have this camera in, if not higher. Really good camera. I can't stress how good it is. I really can't. This is like a step up from that, so that on nicer models, this is what you'd want to put into it. Again, it has a slightly better mount, although you have a very limited amount of down you can put into it because of that mount. It's a bit weird. I've had that problem before on them. But yeah, this is all like the one up from the black one. And as I say, on this 11/11 festival, or whatever the bloody hell it's meant to be, again, 40 quid is probably the most you want to pay for it. 55 is bloody expensive, and it probably never is there. But what I might try doing is see if I can also use my 15% off on top of this. Possibly with Banggood to try and get this even lower, and I'm going to buy a couple of these. So it's not like I will never buy them, but they are in something that's going to be a chance of less damage than this. And also, I feel like this fits into some of the pre-model things a bit better than this. But yeah, so for 80% of your models, you want this black generic camera. For models that are slightly nicer, or if you want the more robust stand, because this really is that stand. I mean, not only is it only one circle, but it is also made out of monkey metal. It really isn't brilliant, and the screws kind of self-tap in once, and that's it. It's very easy for it to come loose. So if you want a decent stand and a slightly better quality, then get this and the choice of lenses. This one comes by default with a 2.8 lens. So that's even narrower than this one. Okay. So if you want a wider lens and a choice of lenses, and the better stand and the slightly better picture quality, you can get one of these. Especially at this price, that's a very good price. So I'm probably going to buy two while I'm here for stock. This one is for the creme de la creme of your models that you are using specifically for sort of distance flights or observing flights. I wouldn't recommend it for use where you're diving between posts and things like that. Excuse me. One of the reasons why you aren't getting like a proper video in the workshop. But you can. But yeah, this is for your very top models. You get the better, even betterer stand. The better lens, especially for getting moisture off of. This one is definitely the creme de la creme, but unless you have a limited money to throw at things, it's a suitable model, then there's no point. Again, for a model that you're going to be using for distance or for sort of flying and looking at things as opposed to flying through things, this is your best camera to do it with. If you decide, I think we've got one of these, or one that's like, so if I kind of go through the models that I would stick this on, I'd probably stick it on like we have a big friendly giant, or a big friendly glider, or big fucking glider. If it was a little bit lighter, I'd probably put one of these on it. I have a ready-made RC Anaconda, we'll go on that. Mini Talon, if you would be great on that. I think there actually might be one of these on the Mini Talon, the Eagle, whatever I had. Skywalker, again, stuff that you're going sort of, you're not flying through things, but you're looking over things, want nice views. This is the camera that you want. So hopefully I've narrowed it down for you. I didn't fully expect it to take 17 minutes or however long this has taken, but it has. So yes, in final summary, 85-90% of your models, something a little bit nicer that you might still want to fly through things. Your sort of creme de la creme models that you aren't going to want to fly through things, and you just want a really nice video of the land around you when you're sort of soaring and just go for a nice steady flight. So, hopefully, that's a little bit better. Maybe in some of these in the future I will do scripts and things, or talking points. This is completely off the top of my head, just showing you I was going to say Chrome, it's technically a Firefox window because it's like my backup browser. So I'm actually going to go and purchase a couple of these. Remember to get any money off Banggood, or most of the time you get money off of Banggood and Hobby King and a few other places. Get Honey, it's this little tab up here that you can download and install. There's always a link to that in the video description. Genuinely saves you money. I think I looked into it and I'd saved like 800 quid, and I've had it for like a year or so. So, does add up over time. I have a 15% off coupon to use. So if Honey can't find me any other ones that are higher than that, I'll just use that. So it gets used up, because I technically bought it with points, because I was very confused by the point system. But I'm going to get a couple of these. I don't really need any of these. I haven't got 3 or 4 of them in the box ready to use. I've also technically got 2 of these, but to be honest with you, at that price, they're especially if I can get it below 20, they are a very good offer. If I can get it below 20, I'll buy 2. If not, I probably won't. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. Comment if you have any comment down below. Let me know what your favourite camera is. And also, yes, as I say, check out Honey as well as Patreon. And if you fancy your one-off donations, PayPal there as well. But yes, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Hopefully that is on the bench. But thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.